Democrats really need to cut loose the celebrities. They're not helping. They don't strike people as normal because they're not. Democrats already have a problem with people thinking that they are not the common sense crowd. And then when they see, the Chapel Roans and the Billie Eilishes of the world who don't act like normal people, and then whatever they're saying just strikes everybody in America who's a normal person as, oh, God,
all right,
here's more of this stuff where you can't relate to a real life. And, of course, there was comedy in there about it's so easy to, show celebrities acting crazy.
It's an artist for ceasefire pin, and what we are demanding is a ceasefire. And I think that I am so blessed to have a platform, and this is the least I can do to use it. And, sometimes the news cycle is so fast and people move on, but the people in the West Bank are still suffering. So, yeah, it's just bringing attention to that.
For this, when a government people on the streets of our major cities, when we don't say anything, when oligarchs take over the media and control how we could produce it and consume it, we all face a moral choice. But luckily, even a nobody is more powerful.
Not a lot of politics talk tonight on the stage. We did have Javier Bardem. We know you're outspoken. Right. What was your reaction to hearing Javier call out for Palestine?
It was absolute pride and gratitude. Obviously, he is so outspoken and always.
Let's talk about this pin, Jane Fonda. Lock the merger.
Why? We have to try. Yeah, they're going to be bad for workers. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. We're going to have higher prices. We're going to have political control over what we do.
Yes, Bil Maher Turns, actor Jerry, Democrat, really need to cut loose the celebrities. They are not helping. They don't strike people as normal because they are not. Democrats already have a problem with people thinking they are not the common sense crowd. This is the perfect truth about these people. When you say it, they think, oh, maybe you are not knowledgeable enough to put out points like this. At some point, when I watched this video, I was impressed. B had an interview with him, and coupled with the fact that we saw what Hollywood celebrities are putting out, attacking this administration.
There's a reason why we sometimes separate boys and girls. Boy Scouts now have girls in them. I think this is ridiculous. It's called the Boy Scouts. Do you have to always be stupidly counterintuitive about everything? Girls, they also need time when they're just with girls because they can't be around these knuckleheads.
Yeah.
You look like you're angry about this.
No, I'm not angry. I'm just trying to think about it, and I'm like, this is really what I try to do. I try not to get angry about these things, Bill, okay? And I try to think, what I was thinking was, why would they do that? And maybe it's to take away stigma of gender. I don't know.
I'll tell you why, Jerry, they do it. Because the kind of assholes who live here amongst us, the kind of super woke people, they live to have themselves thought of as the good people, as the social justice warriors. So they're always looking for some new marginalized people to champion. And of course, the very thought of it is noble. And I get it. And I'm an old school liberal.
100%.
We've always been there for this.
100%.
And they take it just 10 subway stops too far.
100%.
To places where it's just about making them feel like they're doing something. And you know what? You're not Rosa Parks. You're not anybody who's doing anything. You're just trying to be this sort of social justice warrior. And there's no war that needs to happen here. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, there's no hate crime happening. Okay, it's just about the way it really is with boys and girls.
You've done so much for the trans community, and I know that your sister would be so proud of you.
My sister did so much for the trans community. Right now we're looking at a real attack on the trans community. We're seeing people lose their driver's license suddenly with no way to get to even the DMV. We're seeing people not allowed to go to the bathroom, even though they clearly present, the way that they are, who they are, but they're forcing them to go to the bathroom in the non-corresponding bathrooms. We're seeing people having to flee the country. We're seeing people lose their passports. We're seeing people talk about their pharmacies no longer offering their life-saving HIV medications. We're talking about pharmacies that are no longer offering PrEP, so that HIV, the number one healthcare provider in the country, being shut down, which was the number one testing service for all. We're seeing every 3 seconds somebody gets diagnosed with A. No matter what the government says, we disagree. We love you. We're here.
He is angry. He can accept that. This should tell you a lot about these Hollywood celebrities. B is actually calling out these woke people, their faces. This guy, in fact, my impression about this guy has changed. You know, I've been watching movies, seeing him. I used to think he was an upright person. But from these conversations, this totally changed my mind about him. Look at basic things that we should not be arguing, or we should just acknowledge that what B is saying here is right, but look at his face. This should tell you a lot about these celebrities. It gets crazy every single time with them.
I see it, and really, I'm sure you're the same way. The goal is to make them feel as safe as possible, especially at that precarious age. It's such a tough age.
And I'm saying it just is sometimes the case with the woke people that they are their own worst enemies with so much of it. You're talking about your boyfriend, Mamdani, in New York. A lot. I don't know what the tally.
My boyfriend, but
yeah, I don't know what the tally
casually
is.
seeing each other.
I don't know what the tally.
Another actor bite the doors. I can never look at this guy the same way again. What should happen is when a movie comes out, post the political statement of all the actors in it so that we know where they stand and can decide if we want to support them financially. This is someone comment under this video. If you look at this discussion they had, you can clearly see that the guy felt uncomfortable because Bil Maher is putting out real truth, real issues that are happening, especially with wokeness. Then I decided to air some of these celebrities their views. You know, yesterday from the Oscar, you will understand something. Some are personally going to these places to just air their mind. It's like they don't have the medium where they can do that. Which to me, there is no issue with that. They complain about there is no freedom of speech, like what Jimmy Kimmel said. There is no freedom of speech. But he's speaking. He is attacking the Trump administration. He is doing a lot for very long, for years now. There is no single segment that someone like this will put out without mentioning the president's name. Another lady, I don't know if she's a musician or who, at this same ceremony, she said there is no freedom of speech. Then they have the audacity to still be talking. Go into places where there is no freedom of speech and stand up to speak. Be able to express yourself like you're doing here and see how this will turn out to be. It gets crazy when I see them do this. It's like you have privilege, then you always claim there is none. Crazy, right?
My little girl who is 8 months, who is absolutely...
Hopefully brings us some common sense and decency.
There is an international community of filmmakers dedicated to telling the truth.
So, I mean, what did you think about how political issues were addressed last night?
Yes, this is actually why a lot of people don't watch this show again.
You said, not only is he a great actor...
How cool is that? Look at that.
I think, you know, I've said this often, you know, when you do have a platform and you're comfortable with it, I think that you should use it, especially when we are in the middle of war.
And I want to appreciate everyone supporting, sharing out the videos. As of the short clips, that is for the white algorithm. You can always skip.
I think the Oscars numbers or ratings are driven not by the movies, because it's more about the fact that nobody's seeing these movies.
You're a man putting your hands on a female.
Let's talk about your Palestine remark.
2026 Oscars were messy, with multiple celebrities called out on stage, huge winners, shocking losers, a little fight as the celebrities were exiting the venue, and how Timothée Chalamet had dragged all night on stage.
They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow.
Anniversary of the Oscars So White campaign, someone must wear a ribbon that says, "We won."
Out on the buffet, they're just hearkening.
Defense Department?
It's nutty as hell.
Yeah.
And you're right. Every day is something new. And it's, I was thinking about it yesterday because I thought
that Trump laid in the State of the Union address.
To get here. Trump! Go Trump! Hey, Murphy, thanks, man.
Our chamber is chanting USA. Philip.
He utilized almost like these game show type moments where you're seeing awards being presented.
They're just so disgusting.
Of course, he chose who did not vote in his favor and did not shake her hand there.
Here's the video. He shook everyone's hand. Everyone. Here's the Chief Justice. All of them got their hands shaken to the point where they had to come back on the air and say this in Stop 33.
But we should point out as he walks in, he's pretty close to the justices again as he comes.
Other than illegal on either of those two, I think they took his bait.
Can take away from the joyous moment as all Americans. And why are they putting a medal?
Oh, he's already under scrutiny for 1,000 reasons. Carol Patel posted this on X.
Job.
I get suspicious when any
person's home, it's very easy to.
This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today.
The country's in such emotional turmoil.
And Republicans on both sides. You're
so amazing. And wasn't it so great?
When it can be hard to hope.
Hey, girl.
I stand here because.
Oh man, is he going to be mad his wife wasn't nominated?